dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 10th History, we'll be learning the topic History of Indian Arts. That means in this topic we are going to talk about the different arts and about its history. In the first chapter of history, we discussed about the historiography, that is development in the West. In second one, historiography, Indian tradition. Third chapter was about applied history. And now, in this topic, points which are what is art, the first point, because if we are going to talk about the history of Indian arts, then it is very important to know the concept of art or the definition of art. Actually, it is not that much easy to define any kind of art, but we can generally say something or write one or two sentences about the art. Then Indian traditions of visual arts, Indian tradition of performing arts, and art, applied art, and the professional opportunities. So now the first point, that is, what is art? It is a natural human instinct to want to share. It is a natural human instinct to want to share his experience, wisdom, and also emotions. And that is why human being is a social animal, because we need to share something with the people, we need to share something with the society, we need to share something with our family friends or with our friends or our classmates. And when this instinct results in a beautiful creation, then it is acknowledged as art. Now, number of things are there which we are sharing continuously with our family members or with our friends, but this is something which is different from the concept of art. In art, after seeing something, after reading something, or after watching something, if you feel that it is the thing that should go to the people or it should share with the people, and then you find your own way to share. Now it may be in any form, in the form of song, in the form of poem, in the form of story, in the form of art, like in drawing or anything else. So the artist's power of imagination, very important thing which is in the artist, that the power of imagination, sensibility, state of emotion, and its skills are the crucial factors at the root of artistic creation. सो एक आर्टिस्ट में इमेजिनेशन की पावर तो होनी ही चाहिए, बट सेंसिबल, ही शुड बी सेंसिबल, ही और शी शुड बी सेंसिबल, देन ओनली ही कैन राइट और प्रेजेंट समथिंग और कैन क्रिएट समथिंग. स्टेट ऑफ इमोशन एंड स्किल्स टू एक्सप्रेस. इमेजिनेशन है, सेंसिबिलिटी है, स्टेट ऑफ इमोशन है, बट डोंट हैव द वे टू एक्सप्रेस, तो वो आर्ट बाहर नहीं आएगी. उसको स्किल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दैट इज वाई ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स, और वी कैन से दैट these factors are at the root of artistic creation. So this is the basic concept of the art. And now artistic creations are of two types, that is visual arts and performing arts. The Sanskrit term for the first type, that is visual art, is Drik Kala, and for the second type, that is for performing arts, is Lalit or Angik Kala. So many examples of prehistoric rock art have been discovered at many sites in the world, and it proves that the origin of visual arts is as old as the Stone Age man. And in the history of that, you people already learned about the paintings on rock. So here visual arts and performing arts, then folk arts and classical arts, and style in art. Now one by one we'll study this in detail. Here is the visual arts and performing art. So this Drik Kala is visual art, and Lalit or Angik Kala is performing art. And the many examples of prehistoric rock art have been discovered at many sites in the world. And by these sites, it proves that the origin of visual arts is as old as the Stone Age man, because we have proof, or we have that rock paintings, and by that we can say, or we can conclude, that the origin of visual arts is as old as the Stone Age. Here you can see Drik Kala and Lalit or Angik Kala, where there is performance, and that is why it is performing art. Then the folk arts. There are two distinct traditions of art, that is folk art and classical art. Folk art is a tradition. Folk art is a tradition that has continued from prehistoric time, from one generation to another, another to another, another to another. Generation to generation, this type of art is passed, and that is why it is called folk art is a tradition. The expression of folk art is a natural part of people's way of living, and hence its expression is spontaneous. There is nothing planned, there is nothing prepared, it is the spontaneous, and that is why it is called folk art. जैसे लोग खेत में काम करके थके हारे आते थे और शाम को जब इकट्ठा होते तो गाने गाते थे, डांस करते थे, ये सारी चीज़ें होती थी और उसे फोक आर्ट कहा जाता है. टुडे ऑल्सो इन नंबर ऑफ फेस्टिवल्स और इन रिचुअल्स हमारे यहाँ पे पुराने गीत गाए जाते हैं, और जो कहीं पर लिखे हुए नहीं होते हैं, याद होते हैं हमारे जो दादा होते हैं, नाना होते हैं, दादी, इन सब लोगों को, और वो पास ऑन होते रहते हैं. दैट इज़ वाई दिस टाइप ऑफ आर्ट is called folk art. Folk art is created by collective participation. Collective participation. Folk art is created by collective participation of the members of a social group. When people come together, they start dancing or start singing song, and collectively they improve it, and it is spontaneous also. And the classical art, which is expressed within an established frame of consistent rules, and it needs a prolonged training to master any form of classical art. If we are going to talk about classical music or classical dance, number of types are there in this then. So you need to practice, you need to learn, you need to study about this, and then only you can achieve mastery over it, and you have to follow the rules. But if we talk about the folk art, no rules. Whatever you have within you, you can express spontaneously. But in classical arts, there are rules and you have to follow the rules. So this is the basic difference between the folk art and classical art. Next thing, style in art. Artists tend to have their own method of working and it is known as the style of the artist. If any particular artist is working on something continuously, then he maintains his own style. And if that style get famous or mentioned in the world of art, then other people follows that particular art or the form of art, and then it became style in that particular field of art. So when a style is adopted by many artists, over a prolonged period of time, then it may become a tradition, and such tradition gets established as an art style. Various art styles develop in every culture which are characteristic of a certain period and region. Such styles are helpful in studying art history. कोई एक आर्टिस्ट किसी एक पर्टिकुलर थीम पे काम करता है, उसकी अपनी स्टाइल डेवलप करता है, फिर उसके साथ और लोग जुड़ जाते हैं और उसी तरह के आर्ट फॉर्म में वो लोग काम करते हैं और एक पर्टिकुलर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक जो है उस आर्ट के लिए डेवलप होता जाता है एंड देन उसे एक आर्ट स्टाइल कहा जाता है. इंडियन traditions of visual arts. Our next point, the art of painting and sculpting are visual arts, that is Drik Kala. Painting and sculpting. So in paintings which are of two-dimensional, for example, sketches or paintings of nature, objects and individuals. These are two-dimensional paintings and they are done on various surfaces such as rocks, walls, papers, canvas of different types and on earthen pots also. The mural of Bodhisattva, this one, the mural of Bodhisattva at Ajanta caves is one of the finest example of the art of painting. Painting can be done on anything like surfaces. It may be of rocks or walls or papers or canvas or of different types and on earthen pots. Then the next thing, folk styles of paintings. In paintings now we are talking. Rock paintings dating to Stone Ages have been discovered in many countries. Now in this about what we are going to talk in the folk styles of painting. Folk styles, classical styles of painting, then miniature paintings in manuscripts and the Western style of painting. So here we will start it with the folk styles. In India, there are rock painting sites in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The rock paintings in the caves at Bhimbetka. These are the examples of paintings which are there on the rocks of Bhimbetka in the caves, which are very famous, and Bhimbetka is a World Heritage Site. So rock paintings usually depict human, animal and geometric figures. Here you can see human, animal and geometric figures. The style of rock painting seems to be changing according to the cultural changes from Stone Ages to the beginning of agriculture. And if you study this in detail by using internet, then you can see the changes in the painting. The change is visible in the depiction of flora and fauna, or it may be evident in the style of portraying various figures and also in the colors that were used. So basically black, red and white colors were used in the rock paintings, which were made from natural substances, and with the help of rock paintings we can understand the knowledge of ancient people about their natural surroundings and also the way they exploited available natural resources. So again the same thing, it's folk style, and that's why no rules but feelings are there, and we can study history with the help of these paintings. Here Maratha style of painting, which is given in our textbook, with which Maratha painting is an example of art style. The style known as Maratha paintings began to develop in the latter half of the 17th century CE, and this style consists of colored paintings and they occur as murals and also miniatures used in manuscripts. Mural of Maratha style can be seen in the world Vadas at places like Vai, Menauli and Satara in Maharashtra. The Maratha style was influenced by the Rajput and European styles of painting. Just now we discussed about the style in art. कंटिन्यूसली एक पर्टिकुलर स्टाइल पे काम किया जाता है, फिर बाकी सब लोग उस पे काम करते हैं और वो स्टाइल डेवलप होती जाती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मराठा स्टाइल ऑफ पेंटिंग. Painting styles helps us understanding various things about the times in which it was developed, such as the lifestyle which we can see in that particular painting, attires, लोग क्या पहनते थे, customs, very important part of painting. So with the help of all these styles we can study history, we can study the traditions, rituals and the festivals. Then the next thing, when we talk about folk styles of painting, then the Wali painting, which is very important. The traditions of Wali painting and Pingul or Chitrakathi in Maharashtra are among the finest examples of folk styles of paintings. And in this, the very important name, Jivya Somya Mase, the artist in Thane district, has played a great role in making the Wali style of paintings very popular. And for that, he has been honored with a number of national and international awards for his paintings. And in the year 2011, he was awarded Padma Shri for his work in Wali painting, which is former kind of folk style of painting. Next thing now, classical styles of painting. The ancient Indian texts have explained various aspects of arts in great details. And if we go through that books, there are altogether 64 arts mentioned in these texts. The art of painting is mentioned as Alekham or Alekhya Vidya in these. And according to that, it is said to have 6 main aspects. The ancient Indian scholars studied these 6 aspects very minutely, and they include proportion of depiction of various features of an image, that is praman, then the expressions bhav, then the lavanya yojana, that is aesthetics, sadrushyata, that is a resemblance to reality, and varnika bhang, that is color composition. So all these factors, one more is there, roop bheda, that is different shapes and forms. So these 6 things which are very important for any kind of painting when we talk about the classical style. हमें कोई पेंटिंग या कोई भी फॉर्म ऑफ आर्ट पसंद तभी आता है जब उसमें ये सारी चीज़ें होती है कि वो एक्यूरेसी होती है, उसमें कुछ एक्सप्रेशंस हमें देखने को मिलते हैं और सब चीज़ें एकदम अच्छे से होती है जिसे देखते ही हमें वो पसंद आता है, तब उसमें ये सारी चीज़ें होती है. एंड देन वी कॉल इट एज क्लासिकल स्टाइल्स ऑफ painting. Agama texts of various religious sects, Puranas and Vastu Shastra texts explain the arts of painting and sculpting in the context of temple architecture, which is the different part, and in detail we'll study about that in the folk styles of sculptural art. Now the miniature paintings in manuscripts. You people already studied about these manuscripts in the sources of history. The miniature paintings in the early manuscripts show an influence of Persian style, and the Deccan miniature style was developed under the patronage of the Deccan Sultanates. And during the reign of Akbar, the Mughal emperor, the Mughal miniature style showing a blend of Indian and Persian style was developed. So it is also directly or indirectly connected with the ruler of that particular period or influenced by that culture of that particular ruler. And then the next point in this, Western style of painting. In the British period, Indian artists came under the influence of European style of painting. Again I am explaining this. कोई भी बाहर से आता था या किसी भी लोगों के साथ यहाँ के लोगों का कनेक्शन होता था या फिर कांटेक्ट में दो कल्चर जब आते हैं तो मिक्सचर हो जाता है. जैसे ब्रिटिशर्स आने के बाद हमारे यहाँ पे हमारी जो कल्चर थी उनके साथ मिक्स हो गई और उन्होंने भी हमारे कुछ कल्चर ले ली, लेकिन इसका सबसे ज़्यादा असर जो होता है वो आर्ट फॉर्म्स पर होता है. जैसे यहाँ पर बोला गया है इन दिस सेंटेंस, इन द ब्रिटिश पीरियड इंडियन आर्टिस्ट्स केम अंडर द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ यूरोपियन स्टाइल ऑफ पेंटिंग. यहाँ के आर्टिस्ट जो थे उन्होंने यूरोपियन पेंटिंग्स देखे और उनके इन्फ्लुएंस में आके देन दे स्टार्टेड पेंटिंग लाइक देम. सो एन आर्ट स्कूल was established under the leadership of James Wales, a Scottish artist in the times of Savai Madhavrao Peshwe in Shaniwarwada in Pune. He had done a portrait of Savai Madhavrao and Nana Fadnavis. This one you can see. One more name here, Gangaram Tambat, a Marathi artist who worked with Wales, deserve a special mention here. He had made drawings of the rock-cut caves at Verul and Kale, places of both these caves. Some of his drawings are preserved in the LA Center of British Art of LA in New York City. Here you can see exact portrayal of the object of the painting is characteristic of the European style. Exact portrait, जैसा है वैसा ही उसे बनाना, that is exact portrait. A member, here you can see, a number of renowned artists were trained in the JJ School of Art and Industry. Nowadays also JJ School of Art is there near Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminal, which was established in 1857 CE, offering courses in European style of painting. And Pestonji Bomanji, an alumni of the school, made replicas of Ajanta पेंटिंग्स. रेप्लिकाज मीन जैसे अजंता पेंटिंग है वैसे ही उन्होंने दूसरे पेंटिंग्स बनाए. So in Western style of painting, one thing which is very important to keep in mind is that exact portrait is equal to Western style of painting. And when we talk about classical style of painting, then there are altogether 64 arts mentioned and 6 main aspects. So today in the topic history of Indian arts, we discussed about what is art, visual arts and performing arts, folk arts and classical arts, style in art, Indian traditions of visual arts, art of painting, folk styles of paintings, classical styles of paintings, miniature paintings in manuscripts, Western style of painting. And now in the next part of this lesson, we'll talk about sculptural art. In that, folk styles of sculptural art, classical styles of sculptural art, Indian iconography, architecture and sculpture, Indian traditions of performing arts, and in the traditions of performing folk arts, tradition of classical performing arts, and the last point, which is always very important, about the applied knowledge of history, that is art, applied art and professional opportunities in the field of art.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.